Welcome to the world's first straight talk solar cast. This is your go-to podcast for answers about solar. Brought to you by Solar Harmonics in Northern California, who invite their customers to own their energy by purchasing a solar panel system for their home, business, or farm. Each episode, we discuss questions facing people making the decision to go solar. The solutions to your questions are given to you straight by one of the leading experts in the solar industry, Jamie Duran, president of Solar Harmonics. Feel free to search our library for answers to questions that you're facing when considering solar. And now, here's Adam Duran, our host with the questions, and Jamie Duran, our solar expert with Straight Talk Solarcast.
Hello, Jamie.
Hello, Adam.
How's everything going in the land of solar this week?
Always exciting, always great, always lots of fun. Never a dull moment. That's for sure.
I hear that. I can definitely hear that. Wow.
Yeah.
So what do you got? What's on? What's going on this week?
Back in summer of last year, PG&E, our utility company, and Sunrun, one of the biggest residential providers, put together this program that would allow PG&E to pull power from the Sunrun customers' batteries. And these customers, so if they had solar and they have a backup battery and they're Sunrun, PG&E was offering them $750 to allow PG&E to pull power from their batteries to be able to use it for other customers that might need it for their power during the evening time. And so it was kind of interesting because PG&E is definitely recognizing that, oh, hey, we don't have enough power at night for everybody as we're adding electric. Go ahead.
This is like for unused battery storage.
Yes. So if your battery, has 10 kilowatt hours in it and you're not using it because there's no outage and you're part of the NEM 2.0 program where once your battery is full and you're sending power back to the grid, it doesn't really make sense to discharge that battery. Now with NEM 3.0, it makes sense to discharge that battery. But most of these customers were on the NEM 2.0.
Oh, okay.
And so, they had these batteries that were full and a lot of them made their batteries. So they had 8,500 customers that enrolled and got the $750. And then those batteries provided 27 megawatts of power during the evening peak hours for more than 90 days. So that's during the summer months when PG&E kind of needs that power. So very interesting because that would indicate that PG&E needs solar's help for all the energy demand. And yet they're highly discouraging solar from, being deployed through the NEM 3.0. So we'll see what happens with this, but they're calling it the Peak Power Rewards Program. And it looks like they're going to expand it. But a lot of people who have battery power kind of are using it now. And so we'll see what happens. And we'll see what goes on with that. But I thought it was a really interesting program. And and they also got a free smart thermostat for participating.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And 27 megawatts. Can you tell us how much is that in layman's terms? Is that enough for a house?
Power for 20,000 homes.
Wow.
So 8,500 customers powering 20,000 homes at nighttime. So that's pretty cool. And
that is.
It was, yeah. And so it's kind of making, a microgrid. That's what it defines. So like if you have a community and there's enough battery storage and enough solar, that microgrid essentially can power everyone during the daytime or the nighttime hours.
Right.
And so PG&E kind of set this up with Sunrun. And so they're really happy with it. And they want to expand it, but we'll see how it goes because the rules have all changed when it comes to solar and batteries, and people right now with the NEM 3.0, the excess power goes back to PG&E and they only get 7 cents a kilowatt hour on average. And so a lot of people are adding batteries so that they will be able to use that power at night. And so if it's not going back to PG&E and it's staying in the batteries and people are using it for their own, that 22,000 or 20,000 homes that I was talking about, I would say it's probably 1/10 we're going to have power. So it's kind of interesting that PG&E, thought, hey, here's a good idea. Let's let's reward people, and we can pull the power from their batteries and sell it, to the next door neighbor, or we can now make it so it's not not available.
Oh, no.
So I don't know. It was. I think obviously it was designed everything with PG&E takes years and years for it to come together.
Okay.
But yeah, there's 800, according to this article from Solar Builder magazine, they've connected 820,000 customers in PG&E territory, and then 75,000, so about less than 10% have battery storage. And so, but that's still a lot of capacity. According to this article, 670 megawatts. So 670, 22,000, whatever that math, it's a lot of people that
that's awesome.
Can be. Well, except now
it could be.
If you have a battery and you're using it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It could have been. Exactly. So it could have been a solution for nighttime power and grid power and grid stabilization. So PG&E doesn't have to fire up a coal plant at night, or, they're not really in the coal business, but a natural gas plant, that kind of thing that can deliver power at night. So very interesting. And we'll see how it evolves. But I would imagine it's not going to go much further than that one test. However, had the NEM 3.0 been delayed a year or 2 years, or even stepped down, so instead of going from 50, 60 cents a kilowatt hour on that excess compensation, if it was stepped down, say, 50 cents this year, 40 cents next year, and then as it shrinks down, then that would have given customers a lot more time to adjust, and then made the battery decision a lot easier. And but now you must add a battery, or, you can see how it goes. That's what we're kind of recommending to our clients is go ahead and get solar now, because PG&E daytime rates are going to be out of control, upwards of 65 cents a kilowatt hour during the summer, which is, when we first started, that's what Hawaii was at. They imported all of their power from diesel container ships, and essentially just had giant diesel generators running for their power, and it was duct tape and dental floss. So it was really, really expensive for power. And now California is getting to that point with no duct tape and no dental floss, just lots of fires and blowing up things, and having to pay these billion-dollar settlements. So anyway, it's going to be really expensive. So definitely get solar, especially if the electricity bill in the wintertime, we're having people my bill was never more than $100, and now it's $250. Definitely look at it, because those are the ones where their summer bills could be in the $400 to $600 range, and solar will obviously eliminate all the daytime power, or those really high rates. So it'll still be a really fast payback. It just, you now need to expect that you're going to be paying for nighttime power, and in the winter months you're going to be paying for winter power. So those rates are less. And then if it does look like you're using a lot of nighttime power, then, I'm also, let's hold off for the vehicle to grid. There are lots and lots of electric vehicle charging stations that are at the CES show early last month. Several companies are trying to design a bi-directional EV charger. So it kind of gets us out of the solar world, because it's just adds too much complexity and things go wrong. But if it's an EV charger that can handle the vehicle to grid, where the electric vehicle is supplying power back to the house at nighttime, that makes a lot more sense to me than adding a wall battery that's just storing 13, 14 kilowatt hours, where the Ford F-150 stores 100 kilowatt hours. So very complex, very interesting, never change, never not changing, I will say. And so, but it's always exciting. Anyway, bottom line, if your electricity bill now is in the PG&E territory, $250 a month, electricity only, not the natural gas, then the summer bills are going to be insane. So solar now is a good idea, and then wait to see how it goes. And if it does look like you're using a lot of power, then you can always add a battery down the road. It doesn't affect your NEM status. Might have to pay another permit fee, but it's rather than spending $15,000, $20,000 on a battery and then you don't use it all, or you do use it, but it's still, it's very complex. But my feeling is, let's see how it goes with your battery and your electricity usage, and we can always add one on later. So very exciting, never dull moment. And good job, PG&E. You set up a really good program, and everyone is very successful. I don't think it's going to be that successful under the NEM 3.0. We'll see.
It's like one hand doesn't know what the other one's doing, right?
What?
When you have a program that it just seems like they're pushing in two different directions, right?
Well, it definitely is a pro solar and battery storage program. So it definitely makes sense to do this. If you need power at night and people have excess power that's just sitting in the batteries, then pull it, and they agree to it, you can pull it from them and compensate them. And it kind of makes them the electric company, which is kind of neat and kind of cool. But now if they need that power for their home, they're not going to sell it. And they're not going to enroll. They're going to say, well, no, PG&E, you messed me up good. So now I'm not going to let you have my power, and I'm going to be paying, 18, 20, 30 cents a kilowatt hour for nighttime. So it will constantly evolve.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you, Jamie, for staying on top of all this stuff.
I know I talked really fast, so definitely rewind this, especially if you listen to the podcast in double speed, like I've been hearing lots of people. They can keep up, which is great. But, listening to it in 5 minutes instead of 10 minutes. But you might want to slow this one down and kind of get to it. I'll put the article from Solar Builder in the show notes so people can refer back to it. But it's pretty interesting, pretty exciting, as always.
Excellent. All right, we're going to wrap it up there. If you have a question for Jamie for an upcoming episode, go to our Facebook page, Straight Talk Solarcast, send a message through there. If you want to check out a library of our past episodes, go to solarharmonics.com, click on the podcast link at the top of the page, and you'll be taken to that library, and it's searchable. Woohoo! Finally, if you have a friend considering going solar, this would be a great podcast to refer to them because it will save them thousands upon thousands of dollars over the life of their system. What better friend is that? We always ask, I don't know. Until next time, everyone. See you.
That's all for now. Thank you for listening to this episode of Straight Talk Solarcast with solar expert Jamie Duran. Join us each week for more answers to your solar questions. Speaking of questions, got some? Email us at solarcast@solarharmonics.com and we'll be sure to give you an answer in an upcoming episode. This episode of Straight Talk Solarcast is brought to you by Solar Harmonics, the leading solar energy developer in Northern California, who invite you to own your energy. Visit them on the web at www.solarharmonics.com.